Yeah, all right, my people. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Depending on the Ogbonge area we on the watch this broadcast from. We salute every one of you with better style. Wayafe Wabokian. As we talked about before, Godwin Seki. We ready gidigba where we go to debunk all the lies when they cook, all the lies when they give all this stranger money, they take the trauma to your papa. So we did when we debunk all the lies. All right, we did to debunk all the lies, and all the plan when they plan towards our big house has been exposed. So we did to give una the Ogbonge update. So we really appreciate every one of you. I believe in all day, when all day shock, as when I know they hear different things, when I hear from Dr. Oghioba Pedro. Dr. Oghioba Pedro, when I hear the new update will come out from him mouth. So that be the reason why we dare here to debunk all the old angle. Seki Oghioba, where they pass the come out. We dare here. And make we not forget, our Baba Day with us here today. Chief Oba Dolagbonyi, Omo Osaigi Utetenegiabi. He dey here with us. So a lot of things stay where we go educate, where we go learn for this Ogbonge broadcast today. So you when they watch, whatever location, just carry popcorn, make yourself a sit down, make una begin the listing. And make una not forget to share the video as Seki Oghioba, the one they spoil the papa name. Una go to spread them so that make people they hear the truth. People go to hear the truth. So now so this matter be. So thank you all for coming. I appreciate every one of you. Make sure not forget my leader still there here, the great coordinator, Oweda Father. He there here. So as we proceed this broadcast, so we now leave the stage so our coordinator, Congress Chrisley, Oweda Father. Thank you very much. Up to you, sir. Mute yourself, sir.
Yeah, Olakoko, thank you. Thanks for giving us the time to use your platform. I greet you and I greet your supporters and I also greet those who know to support you. Epa, as usual, Domosa, you're welcome. Pale, are you there, sir? Maybe network problem. My honorable chief, Epa Utete, Domo. So before Epa come on air, we are here today to respond to 3 basic things that is of interest to we, the Edus, that at the same time also of interest to lovers of history and lovers of truth. And those 3 things are, 1, the former governor said, if he wanted, he will have removed, used his executive power to topple his head, not our father. And secondly, his father never betrayed. Thirdly, they protected the throne Obaseki protected, the Obaseki family protected the throne. So these are 3 questions I'm going to throw to Epa. So that people, Edo people, can understand where the truth lies. Because as at now, majority of us knows the truth, but due to the new crop of young people who are in their early 20s and late 30s, some of them don't know this history. The only history that is vivid to them is Oba Ovorame was deported to Calabar. The characteristic that things that combine to make that story. A lot of names were left out. So since these names is popping up now, and the main actor is Agu Obaseki. So I believe Obaseki thinks that he can mingle his way. So I'm very, very happy. A lot of Edo people, good historians, they are coming out with historical facts, and at the same time backing it up with Western accounts about what happened. So that is why today we decide to, Chief Utete Negiabi decide to come to also clear the air, to give response to these 3 basic questions from Obaseki, and at the same time also Mr. Joseph Ogio, our Asoro of our time, who lead the protests in London, will also be joining us. So these are the things we are going to be discussing today, and at the same time also, people can also take questions, and people can also ask questions, and at the same time, if they have any comment towards the protest being led by Epa Joseph Ogio, they can also pass it. So this is what we have today. It's going to be explosive, but it's like we are having a network problem. But before then, Olakoko, can you please play the video again where Obaseki, the one that any of those videos that he makes those rubbish, even the one from his junior brother, Pedro. So we can also start, people can also can refresh their memory so that when Epa is able to come online again, then we can start deliberating on these issues. So play the video again for us. So before Epa comes,
this I know it's being recorded, and I want anybody who cares to contest it. But for Agu Obaseki, this monarchy would have ended in 1897.
Godwin, no other said Obaseki, you lied. Now let me prove you wrong, that you are wrong. This is the Benin Red Book, one of the most comprehensive Benin history book to debunk their lies. You see, I want to respond to the lies that was told by someone who claimed to be a descendant of Oba Ovorame, one Osamoyi Nosuyi, who claimed to be a descendant of Uswalele, the son of Oba Ovorame. And the lies that was told by Mr. Obaseki in that meet and greet they did in Birmingham.
My name is Osamoyi Nosuyi Ovorame. I'm the great-grandson of Oba Ovorame, related through Uswalele. There were some other things that happened. I had to support that your great-grandfather, Nori Obaseki, Nori Yase, never did anything wrong to the Benin royal family. I happen to have seen my father, seen my uncles, and no. They never told me that there is that rift or I did anything wrong. But there's no other avenue. Let me just say it briefly, and I'll ask my questions. Yes, I was served Ovorame. It was his day. I was served Eweka. And Eweka gave the daughter, Ebose, as wife to Agu. Do you give your daughter to who is your enemy?
I am with one of the most comprehensive Benin history book to debunk their lies. Okay, so just pay attention to whatever I'll be saying in this video. I will not rush over it. First, Osamonyi Nosuyi, who claimed to be the son or a descendant of Uswalele, who is the son of Orame. He claims to be from the royal family. Well, I want to put it on record today that Uswalele truly was the son of Oba Orame, but he rebelled against Agobasimi, who was crowned Eweka II. Why did he rebel against Agobasimi? Uswalele said that Agobasimi, being the first or the eldest son to Oba Ovorame, was illegitimate. That is, according to Benin culture, the mother of Agobasimi did not do what the Benin called Ikewu. Ikewu in Benin means the resting of pots. That is, the mother of Agobasimi was not married, through the recognized Benin traditional way. Because the mother was married legitimately, as he may claim, or because the bride price of the mother was first paid before that of Agobasimi's mother, then he rebelled against Agobasimi that he, Uswalele, should be crowned the king, and that is the Oba of Benin. The rebel was so intense to the extent that he shook Benin kingdom as at then. So the children and the descendant of Uswalele are still nursing that resentment in their mind that they were denied of their inheritance. So that is the bitterness you see in that video. I see no reason why somebody who claimed to be of the royal family could come out and say such a thing. So that resentment is still there. That bitterness against the royal stool is still there because the father was not, or the great grandfather was not allowed, that is Swalele, was not allowed to be the Oba of Benin. Because according to the law of primogeniture, which the Benin tradition and custom operates, the eldest son is the heir apparent to the stool. So, as such, Agobasimi, being the eldest son, was crowned as the Oba of Benin. So, they are still nursing that resentment, that anger, that bitterness against the royal palace. So, that is why he came out openly to do that. Well, that aside. And again, he said the Ago did not do anything wrong against Ovorame. And he equally said in that video that if Ago were an enemy to Agobasimi, that is Eweka the first, why did he give the daughter Ebose to Ago to marry?
Eweka gave the daughter Ebose as wife to Ago. Do you give your daughter to who is your enemy?
Well, don't forget that according to Benin custom and tradition, it is the right, or it is designed for the first daughter of every Oba to get married to Iyase. Don't forget that Ago Obaseki was forcefully imposed on Eweka as the Iyase of Benin by the then British government, by the colonial masters. Then Agobasimi has just been crowned as the Oba of Benin. They forcefully made Ago Obaseki. Because he couldn't be made the Oba of Benin, he was forcefully made as the Iyase of Benin. So, automatically the right for him to marry the first daughter of the Oba of Benin was still there, according to tradition and custom. That is why Eweka II has no choice than for him to obey what the tradition and custom of the Benin people says about that area. So it was given to Agu, not because he
All right.
deserves it, but because
Yeah, Colonel Chrisley.
Yes.
All right. Go ahead with your question with our chief.
Yeah. Chief Irenia.
Yeah, go ahead. It's on the line here.
Okay. Domo, sir. Domo. Yeah. Where's the Baba? Yeah, network, you know. You're welcome. A three important question. No kawo owe erien ma betray do. Nupo giver owe egbien Obaseki or safeguarded the throne. Nupo geha owe dating oni ewe yawe eboede. So maybe owe me owe no one really buy. So for the people who are not Benin, we have our father is going to respond to three basic important questions according to Obaseki. The first one is the family, according to Obaseki. The Obaseki family safeguard the throne. The second is his father never betrayed. The third, he will have toppled his father if he wants to do it and nothing will happen. So, sir, respond to it accordingly. Thank you, sir. You're welcome. Are you hearing me, sir? Domo.
Yeah, Ipa, go ahead.
Hello,
Yeah, my wife.
okay. It's very unfortunate. There are Benin people, there are Edo people who will succumb to the whim and caprices of Godwin Obaseki, who is a complete nincompoop. Nosalogwa Ueiko. For him to say, if he had wanted to depose Oba Ewa the second, he would have done it and nothing will happen. I don't even blame him. But the Edo that were there, that could not stand up to react because they are paid, they are paid observers of his meet and greet to die. First of all, the history he tried to alter. Agu Ubedoyo, who was the Obaseki of Benin, he was very, very close to the Oba of Mokoram. Very, very, very close. And so Oboram trusted him with everything. Oboram trusted him with everything, not knowing that he had earned motive against the Oba. Yes, of his father, the last wife of Obedoyo, happened to now become the mother of Ipobakin. And the first daughter happened to be the mother of Uswalele. Perhaps they consider all that as a wrongdoing against their father. But then, this is the offer of Benin. What can change it here? The oldest and the greatest empire ever in the world. Now, God never said me. I don't blame him for so many reasons. One, he's not a Benin man. He's not a Benin man. It is not just carrying a Benin name that makes you a Benin man. Benin is blood and water. The red earth, the Menulapa, even with all this that Godwin had, is still not a Benin man. Benin by body, not by soul and spirit. To say for a person in this life, to think that because it can happen in Kano, it can happen anywhere else, they think it can happen in Benin. Like the, whoever it will sleep, definitely, but that will be his last sleep. Can never happen. We are a Benin, we are a people, a nation. The way we take our Oba, the Oba may be killing one of us today, but we will still be shouting Oba la top baby. And then Ogunkolele, Nora River, it's a pity. That's a boy that was always in Paris every day. We call him Oburame Nogbaisi because he himself and one other Oburame that was working in Nepal, they changed their name from Uswalele to Oburame. And so everyone was very happy with them. From the time of Oba Ejawa, this one now came up to be talking. It is that you are Oghioba does not mean you cannot be Oghioba. That Uswalele, son of Oburame, has altered his life journey. Then, a young man that is highly respected by people, by everybody, because he's an academic genius. You know. He is an academic genius. Happens to now come out that yes, as an Obaseki son, he can say they cannot be ashamed to be Obaseki. Very good. I like that. If he had come to insult his own family, he would have been a non-entity. Now, but that he can no longer say Oba Atokpe, then they should even remove the Oba in their name. They should remove the Oba in their name. It simply means they are subject to Oba, having Oba as your name. It's a thing that even a lot of these really are having here. Now, Bomama, the next look, go, we go there. Yeah, we go to no building, Nemabuli. Acquire all the wealth in the world. You can only will them to the children of Betsy. You can only will them to the children of Betsy because they won't get on 30 years old. We don't have beer, but then we beer, but yeah, Now, history tells us correctly that because of the closeness of Aru or Baseki to Oburame, Oburame trusted him with anything. It was this Aru. If, according to this ineffectual Bofu thing, that Aru didn't try to take over the kingdom, why did he build what he called palace that Oba Oburame formed to market? Or Seki Oghioba Nuhundan, and truly this is the key. Yeah. Now, when the heat was on, it was Abu Obaseki who negotiated with the Edomo of Benin. Because Edomo has some very secret places. One of those places. All of a sudden, it now happens that Obaseki came with the white men. Edomo, telling Edomo where instead of allowing us to, instead of us allowing the British to burn down the whole city, let us give up on the Oba and give him away. Edomo was shocked to his marrow. Edomo was beaten. He was beaten. And they had to give up Oba. Because of that terrible beating Edomo was given, the magistrated near the time near to make a judgment. Too bad. While all that was going on, he was building a place that he called a palace. Since some chiefs like Ero were standing against him becoming a paramount ruler, he started to build Ugbobaseki opposite the market. And when reports got to Oburame in Calabar, he sent a message to him from Calabar, where Eki, Oghioba, and Ekinyomi came. That is why the place is so fruitful. Anybody that enters there as a trader, they always come out happy. Because Eki, Oghioba. And a time is coming when we shall pull down that place and call it Ekioboram. That is the part of story Godwin is not aware of. They're coming to him thinking that he could have been able to do it. He saw that everything he tried to patronize the traditional institutions, to bring the feet of His Majesty to ripple, to insult and all that. He saw that they all backfired. If he had the intentions well and right, why did he not stay till November 12th to hand over? Why did he not come with a handover note to the current administration, as others have done? So far in the whole country, Nigeria is the first governor that will finish 8 years and run away, and be meeting and greeting people that will kill him all over Europe and UK. Too bad that in all of this, the same thing that played out in 1897, that the Australians, the people that were enemies from within, that caused the fall of the empire at that time. They are still the ones now. They are still the ones now. The enemy within. So, the Benin Traditional Council, the Royal Majesty and the Palace, we have to tread with care. But it's good that we are seeing them. We are knowing them, that there are still so many enemies within. Ideology, in mind, is very, very unfortunate. First and foremost, God does not know his history. Because he's not a Benin man. Even the man that took Godwin out of Benin, taught him stock exchange business, taught him 419 and all that. It was Godwin that still betrayed him and called when AFCC now started investigating the man. It was Godwin that came out with evidence against the very man that taught him life, that took him away from Benin to Lagos to teach him how to be independent. And it's very unfortunate for my dear brother Don Pedro Usaro Bafeki to join office with the same man that betrayed him, that dealt with him like that. They are very close. Ere Pedro was the Okagbe for Ere Godwin, and they are very, very close, first cousin. Too bad, anyway. Osawesi, Ideology. We're doing my.
Hey, Domosa.
Wesley Pale, I will come back to you. You are your opportunity Nakaya to welcome a panel. Pa Joseph Ugio, the answer of our time. You are welcome, sir.
They are talking about they are talking about one.
So
Wadomo eti wayano waya wabi wadomo eti wayano oweti eti oba oshodi yara waya wawese
if I have a baby we had again, that is the Prime Prince of Girl. Let me still go back to Epa Utete. Domosa, please, Lao, for our audience, you want it down the hall. One other line outside the Betrayal Act of Bowaye ona to ya ne ovora mena professor na weki ya na do aeki. Outside that, can you please see in that 14 years no ya administrator before Prince Agwabasi ascend the throne, no later to become the Eweka II. For these 17 years, can you please talk to the Edo people the conduct of Obaseki? If it was of a patriotic Edo or he was on the side of the British invaders. Domosa.
Was never at any time on the side of the name. The mistake was made from the very beginning because of the affinity, the love that the Oba had for him. It gave him power over trade and commerce. It was like the Minister of Trade and Industry. That the white men, as they were coming, because they would not be meeting the Oba every time and every day they came in, they could just meet with Obaseki. And that was the reason for his title, Obaseki Odenyaki. Obaseki Odenyaki. Yes, you are in charge, maybe the whole money is with you and all that, but both you, the market and everything you get from the market still belong to the Oba. Obaseki Odenyaki. Now, because he was now the one mating with the Oyibo, he sold himself into their heart. The white men even told him their hidden agenda and supported them. He told exactly how to go about it. It was who also betrayed Ologose after the fall of Benin in 1897. Ologose was a one-man army from 1897 to 1899. For 2 years, he held forth. He fought against the invasion. All of a sudden, he met with Obaseki, and Obaseki was able to trick him into knowing, to giving up where he was hiding. And before he knew what was happening, the white soldiers were already on him at Ekolobuse. He was arrested there, was brought to town, and hung on the cross like they did Jesus Christ, because that was the greatest punishment at the time. So death by hanging.
Yeah, hungry.
And then let the vultures, let the birds eat him up. Yeah. So that he was never on the side of Benin. All he wanted was to get power. So in the 17 years of interregnum, he wielded power. But if not for the life of Ezomo and Ero, particularly Ero, he would have succeeded. Also, Oba Yuwana and others who took their life, they took their life because of what they were seeing, the atrocities, the abomination being committed by Aro. So they felt they could not be part of such things. But they didn't know that if they were alive, if they kept themselves alive and then joined forces with the locals, perhaps the war would have lasted well beyond 1899. Have run away. So they cannot say he Godwin that says he knows his history. We don't need to view boys old talk, very good. Inside that compound that is now housing the museum, let him just put his hands on the ground there, bare hands, and swear that everything he said that his father was for Benin. His father never wanted to take over the throne. Let him swear there. Swear with the lives of all the other. How come he's the only one? The top members of the family are never on his side, because he's a thief, he's a cheat, a fraud. It defrauded the likes of Gaius Obaseki, NNPC man. It defrauded a lot of the Obaseki in the name of stock exchange business. It's a pity. Maybe blaming Egbe. They might be blaming Egbe. I'm telling you, I'm blaming Egbe. Because only know who you are going to. He has nothing to lose. He has nothing to lose. The last kick of a dying horse. Let me just kick it. Oh my mama, I know that death is imminent. That is what he's doing. But those who, how do I put it? Those Benin people who are just Benin by name and by body, that have never been in spirit and soul, it's very unfortunate for them. Akoni arena here we bring me your pan of Maya Wini. Here at the me no Queen. Here at your brother Lenia. Oh, sorry, I'm you with
He said,
I'm here. I'm
he said, he said, he said,
what doing my help?
he said, let's see, sir. Let's see. So I will, if I have people very later. My honorable, the local sheriff of our time, Thomas, sir, once more again, I welcome you. We can my voice or my clear for, so nothing come easy. So, and I know you are a man who will never retrieve. You don't relent until your goal is achieved, and I see it being one of the descendants of Oba of Oluwa for 1475. So Oyemudia really mama where yes, Oba. You did not please greediness, personal ego above the interest of the Edo, being the son of one of the suspended Enigi. Ever since then, you are still the only in all who came out right from the very first day the announcement came out from the palace to show your solidarity and loyalty to the palace that you support the decision, that you were even against it right from time. You knew that that is the way it's going to be. I was watching you live. I'm quoting you according to your comments. So that day, from that day till now, you have no waver. You have shown that truth has no family line or relation. The truth is for everyone who wants to stand for the truth, because you had a chance like other people whose family were suspended like this, Tekura and Co, who toyed the line of their father. So, sir, once more again, we thank you. Edo people say thank you for your courageous work, and it shows that truth is for truth. Family of friendship will not be used to jeopardize truth. So once more again, I want to ask you, you were alone that day with other 2 or 3 people. So, sir, where was your energy coming from? I know. I understand. But at the same time also, you know, a lot of people, some were mocking, you are alone or whatever. So they fail to understand that as the Bini people, we are 1 or 2 gather. We did not say 5. Action can take place. Every dream can be achieved. So, sir, what gives you energy? With your age and with people trying to intimidate you that day, you did not waver, you stood your ground, and you did it all. So, sir, the floor is yours. Domo.
Wa wese evie do no woman. Wa ga yo pawo manu wa ga yiva o manu wa.
Domo,
Wa
sir.
fu ya gbekin wariri aje. Do ya petan were ipin ebo pa muru veto. Tí ó ṣòdì ọba yàrá ipa asoro ọwọ́ wọ̀nà pa ilé ìmọ̀nà sókun ọba àwọn àti ẹ̀sàkun ọba ọwọ́ nobody will pass apart from the ọba obìnrin sókun ọba kí n lè mọ̀nà wá bí kí n la he stood his ground he didn't the whole city did not stand with him he stood alone and he made it possible that he kept his promise that day I was iga otemena everybody Prince Jesse Osevige, the leader of UKGB, that is United Kingdom of Great Benin Empire. Keke voteme over Basit Ueni,
Okagbe.
People's mandate and people's mandate.
Epa Okagbe Wabi Arevani from the beginning to the end. Keke one, I keep forgetting his name. He's a current military man in British Army, Obiedono. He's still a current serving British Army. Oviedo stood with us. I mean, for me, he being a military man in the British Army, and he came out for protest. And when the police came, he showed them his ID card. And you see, that day was so we when we look here, Edo ya ekpita where enye do kama uzaze. That's what we did that day. Enye do orekama uza oze. You see, there was a lot we have in mind to do that day. You see, when the police give you a caution, you have to play by their rule. Why? Because I reported to the police officially what are my grievances. So a day before the protest, the police came to my house and read the law. Well, have you done a protest before? Okay, these are the rule of engagement when you want to do a protest. So we are going to be with you. We are going to be there because you asked for it. Okay. The police did not come because of Godwin and Niati Oswald, Niati Abaze. No, that Bazebe Godwin, police inare. The police were there because of me, because I make an official report that I'm going there because of my grievances against the people. They sent for it. So they came to my house a day before to read the rule of engagement. So, and I didn't tell police that I got 40 crates of Egimaka. So on that very day, you know, the baby to me, we are there from the beginning. Two police were with me. So, yeah, well, I hope you understand what you are doing. Yes, I got 40 crates of egg. I police in that no. You can't do that. In that way, why? Okay, in those days it was allowed, but now, because of medical reason, it's not allowed. In that way, why? Or why you can throw egg and hit somebody on his jacket or dress, it does not mean any harm. But if by mistake you throw your egg and hit the person on the eye, what can you do? They not become a medical problem. Well, you see, that's why we don't. Egg, they used to approve egg, but now they don't approve it anymore because of the medical reason. That is why we did not use. They keep asking me, where is the egg? Yeah.
Okay, Epale. My question now to you again, because I understand three things you have said that is propelling you. If I'm not correct, you can interject to correct me. One, a patriotic Edo man. Secondly, you have an interest coming from the line of Obaoloa. Your generation once sat at the throne. Third, your father being the suspended Enigi.
Enogi.
So these are the three things. Yes, Enogi. These are the three things that is propelling you. And these three things goes together. Okay. Yeah, I said the one, being a patriotic Edo man, the line of your ancestors, and your father, one of the Enoge that is suspended. Now, Obaseki, according to him, we all heard it. No more. This is no more social media banter with our bike.
Gossip, yeah.
Yeah, gossip. No, according to him, that his father, great grandfather, never betrayed and did everything best of their knowledge to protect that throne which your great grandfather once sat upon. And at the same time also, if he has wanted, he will have toppled his father, not our own, and nothing will happen. What is that? Because you went for a protest, this is the response that came out after your protest. So
yes.
What I need to say to is that, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. You see, a liar is always a liar. When a liar lied, he looked for another lie to cover a lie. Okay. Prior before 1897, Ago was he was the marketing manager. Let's put him that way, okay? He was the marketing manager between the Benin's kingdom and the foreigners, the British, other foreign bodies who came to Benin for trade. He was the, okay, let me say the Minister of Trade, okay? As it will be called today. Ago was the Minister of Trade. Oba Vurame trusted him because as a friend, he trusted him and gave him that title, Chief Oba Seki. Oba or Seki. Ekinuwedona. Mimemuwe yinuwe agba ore. Imoyebe sewe. Ekini ewonye ogomeno. Oba Ion Seki. Maonia. That is the full meaning. Oba Seki. Isewe. Iremekina yobo. Iyebe sewe. Oba or Seki. Now, he knew about all the conspiracy of the white men. He knew it. And his target was, if the kingdom fall, he will not become the Oba of Benin. That was his plan. That is why his palace was not burned down. That is why Ogiamie house was not burned down. So, Epa Ago knew from the outset that this thing was going to happen because he knew everything in the palace. He knew the movement. I can also promise you from my instinct that Epa Ago knew that fasting and prayer period, Oba does not see anyone. So I believe that he was the one who chose that period to say, this is the best period to attack. Okay? Or to cause provocation that will lead to attack. Even with the killing of, the mind of the white men, I think he himself must be the orchestrator of that movement. When Ovurame was in hiding, he was the one that negotiated that they should bring him out. Epa Ago eliminated a lot of top chiefs in Benin just to have his own way. The British make him from Chief Oba Seki. He made the British to promote him to become the ESL of Benin, which has never done in the history of Benin Kingdom. To be made the ESL by a foreign body. Ole
For sir, for
yeah.
our youth in their early 20s and late 20s, is it not a taboo for a foreigner to bestow on a citizen of a son of an Edo man,
a title,
a very important position, best traditional, because the position of Iyase is the prime minister.
Yeah,
that is after our father in dealings of what takes place in the kingdom. The Iyase is responsible. So how will that be okay in the ears of our people who are not so familiar with our tradition, custom, who don't know the what it is to become a chief in Benin Kingdom? So, sir, touch on it.
Okay.
Yeah,
based on what you were saying just now, to make for he knew being a chief Oba Seki.
Okay, hold on.
He still does not have access to the power. Then the British making him the ESL of Benin, so he now becomes the second in command. Okay, so every movement of Epa, every movement of Oba Ovurame, then now
There's no there muted or
Lao comrade.
Yeah, we don't can meet there.
Yeah, a power finish. A power can't go over the line. Or can't go
We don't lie on here. When you mute in any on mute. Epa go
Go
ahead, Epa.
Waiting a drive. What's the get in?
We don't mute. Epa go on radio. People are listening to Epa. Go ahead,
Yes,
Epa.
go ahead.
For Chief Obaseki to have access to everything in the kingdom, then they now made him a prime minister, second to the Oba of Benin. Okay? Now, to make it worse, they now he now married the daughter of Oba Ovurame. Because as a prime minister, he has said, of Benin, you have to marry the daughter of the Oba.
Okay, sir. Hold on there.
Yeah.
The grandson of Oba Ovurame.
Yeah.
They paid I will call him Bofu. Yes, the Bofu. Who does not know what he's doing. He said, if Ago is the enemy of Agobasimi, that is Obaiweka the second, why would he marry the daughter? But he failed to explain that according to custom and tradition, it is obliged that the prime minister must marry the daughter of the Oba. But this prime minister was not appointed or nominated by our. Thank you, sir. So go ahead also touch on this.
What actually happened? The reason why the first Oba of Benin, okay.
You mean Eweka the first?
Yeah, Eweka the second. Thank you.
Eweka the second.
Yeah, the reason why Eweka the second allow Epa Ago to marry his daughter was if he has refused, because Ago now become the ESL Benin. If the Oba have refused, don't forget he was sitting down or standing with one leg. The British remove his father. Okay? The same British equally remove him. Ago would have be able to convince. Do you know that when he asked for the king position, they don't revoke, especially Epaero revoked. Now they put our king there. But what happened now? For him to, if our king have refused to give his daughter to Epa Ago, do you know what would have happened? Epa Ago would have found every means possible to remove the Oba of Benin.
Okay, sir. I want to come
by
again.
The British.
Sir, I come in.
British.
Sir, hold on. I come again this way. Is it not also okay if I ask a question? This is my own personal question. Obaseki said the grandfather did not betray. But Ago was already a chief. Oba Ovurame have already elevated him. So he has already knowledge about how traditional titles in Benin works.
Yes, exactly.
Accepting to become the Iyase from the British. Is that not an act of betrayal? Because he's supposed, hold on, sir. I'm asking the question. He is supposed to know that this title, this chieftaincy title, is only the Oba that have the power to give that title, to bestow it, to give that title to anybody. And you must follow our traditional ritual, due process.
Yeah.
So non-native or a foreigner has no power. So if an Edo person accepts that title from a foreigner, is that on the first of all an act of betrayal?
No, it's not even a betrayal. That is what we call treason.
Thank you.
Is treason. Sentence that is possible of death sentence for what he has done. If the Zama were still in power, it would have been executed.
Okay. Now again, Obaseki, according to history, which Obaseki also make reference to, he said the father worked diligently well to protect the kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
Please, sir, can you also
Good.
go, touch light on how come his Ago was the prosecution weakness of the British against Oba Ovurame in the court, the kangaroo court of the British? Because I'm trying to make it easy for our people who are watching, because Obaseki said the grandfather did not betray. We all know Ago was the prosecution weakness, because if somebody that is prosecuting you bring a weakness that he has against you, meaning that weakness is working for the prosecutor. So, sir,
Exactly.
explain how come Ago was a weakness for the European in the court, testifying against Oba Ovurame and other chiefs that they organized the ambush that lead to some of them being sent to the execution, like Ologoshere and the rest. Thank you, sir.
Okay, what happened there? You see, for him, he has already worked out the plan. You see, when he's a when they crafty, Eriona Nuhukina wabe crafty. Okay, the same tactics, the same knowledge. Okay, they were never there for the interest of the. You see, when we look here, that is exactly what Ago did. Ago has no. His mind was that all set and done. He was aiming for the throne. Okay, he knew that what at the end of the day, his plan was the British will execute Oba Ovurame, because the British have one problem, because they have a monarch, right? So they were afraid to execute another monarch, because definitely the British king will hear about it. Okay, that is why by taking him to exile was the best thing they could do instead of killing him. Okay, so our plan was whatever happened, he will be out of the way. He will not become the king. That is why there was a gap between Oba Ovurame and Oba Eweka, 17 years gap. Ago was busy working to make sure he become the king. Now, when Godwin said, if this is the area that every Bini should really take note of, where if I have wanted to remove as a governor of Edo State, if I have wanted to remove the Oba from his position, like other of his counterpart, like vis-a-vis what the governor of Kano did by removing the emir of Kano from his position and exile him. He said he could do the same thing, but he didn't do it. Guess what? He lied. Godwin sent a letter to Abuja. Godwin sent a letter to Abuja that he want to remove our Oba from his position. The judge told him, if you do it, you are committing suicide on your own. The judge told him in Abuja. No, listen. Don't worry, we no warrior. They fear, we no fear. Godwin, the ex-governor of Edo State, submitted a document in Abuja to arrest our father. Yes. But the judge told him, if you do it, you are committing suicide. You know, before the Enige issue came up, that was the first thing he wanted to do. And then, what was the secretary to the governor, Osadio refused to sign that letter, because the governor cannot sign a letter by himself. When you said every letter from the governor's office, they want to sign it,
Saudi Ogie.
The governor cannot sign. Okay?
Sir, hold on, sir. Sir, you will continue because
yes,
the names you are calling now can be verified. I know you, sir. I know you that whatever you say, it is bulletproof. But
whether they deny it or not, that is
yes,
the fact. As
yes.
the way I'm in London here, I got my eyes and ear in every space in Nigeria. I'm not a stranger. In Abuja, in Lagos, in Benin, I got my ear on ground because
So
I run
continue.
a
Continue,
doctor
sir.
perspective channel. Okay, it's a
Continue,
media
sir.
house. Now,
Continue.
Godwin, the ex-governor, when he approached the judge in Abuja, they told him, you are going to self-condemn yourself. Now, Osajojo said, it has never done, I'm not going to be a part of it. Guess what? This is where it gets worse. When he after that, he went after the Gazette of 1997. 1979, yeah. He went for that Gazette that brought the Onogie of Abudu and the Ogiegmai and all the Enigis. When Uncle Greg was suspended and the Ogiegmai, then they took Oba to court. Oba Seki were behind it, okay? Then, after the picture with all the Enigis, guess what happened? Do you remember that Godwin said, if Aswe did not, if Oshomole did what he did, that he was going to burn down Nigeria, right?
Yes.
Now,
Yes.
you remember that statement?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
So, do you know what he was going to do? Obaseki, not Obaseki, Godwin have already prepared a dossier, okay, for Aswe Godalo. You see? Do you see why Godwin is crying, Godwin has already prepared a dossier for Asweni Godalo because he cannot do it, but he will be able to persuade Asweni Godalo to do it. They do not become a war between Benin and Esan. Godwin was going to cause a war between Benin and Esan. He was going to use Asweni Godalo to remove the Oba of Benin. Then he will say, Obamero, as usual, I'm innocent.
As usual.
That is what he wanted to do.
Always missing in action.
He wanted to say he was innocent. Godwin have already prepared a dossier for us. Do you remember Aswani Godalo? There was an interview between him and this guy in America. This is our brother in America.
That is
Eranomigo. Yeah, Eranomigo, when Aswani Godalo called it Eranomigo, then Eranomigo asked Aswani Godalo, regarding the artifact, what are you going to do? He said, well, I'm not too knowledgeable about the artifact. As a lawyer, I am going to reevaluate everything. The artifact that we go to the palace, we go to the palace. And the artifact that we go somewhere, we go somewhere. Guess what? When the president of Nigeria have already gazetted all the artifacts to go to the palace, but that's when the Godalo said he was going to reopen the case. Yes! Yeah, when we're here, I'm not daft, okay? I am not. As when the Godalo said he was going to look into the case as a lawyer. As a lawyer, he was going to look into the case. That's what he told the Ranomigo.
On air, that is correct.
Yeah, I will reopen the case, and the artifact that we go to the palace, we go to the palace. The one that we go somewhere, we go somewhere. You know what, you wanted to overthrow the Gazette of the president when you become a governor. If you remember, we'll tell Nigeria there. So Godwin has already prepared everything. What he knew that he had to be aware the entire village of Obaseki will be finished. It will be finished. Then 1897 will play out in the second time.
It will be internally, not with external. It will be
No,
internally.
not with externally. It will be not with the external, within eternally. Why you not here? Any chaos why? So the reason why Godwin is crying that they lose the election because his plan has failed. Well, okay, damn it, how? A lot of the nonyawa, He's not crying. Yeah, oh, but the tenant to no manyawa. You get you won't get married. As when you lose the election, as when is still in Benin today, planning for another day. But Godwin no matter contest the election. He's running after the whole Europe. Do you know what? Do you know why Godwin said that? Edo has been retrogressing for such a long time that the Benin people should rise up and fight back.
Against who?
Thank you. That is the question. The first question is that if the Benin kingdom has been backward for such a long time, from where to where? Give us a date.
In his 8 years, Benin was just okay.
No, let's say, is he talking about from Lucky or from Madame Oshobele or from his soul that make it 24 years? For how long it is? Or is it from 1897? From how long? Then if the Benin should rise up and fight back, who are they going to fight? APC and BTP, they don't do physical fight. They fight in the ballot boats, but in the pulling boat or ballot boats, they grab it, snatch it, and run away with it. They don't do physical fight. Now, when he said the Benin should rise up and fight back, that is the interview Abatobaze did with him. Okay, if the Benin were to rise up and fight back, who were they going to fight? They were going to fight the monarch. That is what he's busy doing now in Europe. Wherever he goes, he's doing meet and greet to tell the diaspora, the Edo in diaspora, that the problem we have in Edo State is the Oba of Benin. But the Indian people near Edo meet, those one, he even know, Oga, for the 8 years you spend, the allocation from the federal government and the security vote, did you give it to the palace?
Okay, sir. Hold on. I will just use one stone to hammer two birds there. Now, because you draw my attention there. Another question for you, sir. As an old man, there's a lot of people who are your peers there in your age mates, Edo people, prominent Edo people who are where to be and grounded in our culture. How come if the youth, those in their late 40s and early 50s refuse to come out, but your peers who are supposed to be the custodian of our culture, moral qualities and values, why are, sorry to say if I may use it, why are your age mates failing us, sir? In terms of, I'm not talking in terms of politics now. Politics we know is being polluted, but our values, core values that determine, that design and define us, who we are as a people, is being encroached on. So it is supposed to be a normal thing for people of your setup to be the first people to blow the trumpet so that we will follow and say, hey, man, guys, what is wrong? But rather than your setup are quiet. Can you touch on that, sir?
Okay.
Thank you.
Edo yakbeta awe ebonokwa gamuya boto nege ya if you buy. Okay. Emeya ita. If you look at Benin now, it's a funny that it's like a traditional rulers on one side, then the so-called democracy is on one side, but they are both in the same environment. Okay. Now, with the peddling of the lies from the government circle, so the elite of the Benis are now saying that, well, we don't want to fight the government because they are the power that be. And whatever we say now against the government, DSS might come after them. Okay? Isa bag minanedo. I want to pardon of minanedo. Enika or minanedo. Maniguana must be saying
no, sir. No, sir. I still let me still put it straight.
Yeah, I got you. I know where you are going. The reason
Okay.
why they don't come out, okay?
Yes.
The reason why they don't come out, this is what we call self-defeat. The reason why people of my age or above my age or beneath my age, they are not interested in what we are doing now. Is what they call,
Not only coming out now. I
yeah,
said before your protest, there was total silence.
Yeah, I know.
Where youth are throwing tantrums to elders, to grandfathers. Even grandfathers were silent. They were hiding under democracy. I said they are supposed to be the custodian of moral values. Because when you say elders, the qualities of elders is to teach those beneath them values, the things that make us to be Edo people, which is our identity, our way of life, our cultures, and all so on and so forth. So I said again, because that day, the day you went for that protest alone, is the day it became visible that they have been silent, that they have failed. So my question again, I say, why have they failed? Because they have failed already. Why have they failed? And how can they correct it? Thank you, sir.
That's what I just said just now, my brother. Where if you turn around 20 times, it can be arrow down. No matter how you turn around, it's still in the back. What the situation, the Benis in diaspora, those who were when you are in their midst, where Obaga talk, but hey, yeah, we say. But when it comes to do the knitting greetings of Obaga talk, but hey, they now have self-inflicted injury, that is self-defeat. Okay, they don't want to, apart from Obaga talk, but hey, outside that Obaga talk, but hey, they got nothing to do with the palace. I'm serious with you. When they gathered, they say they are if you say if you do, but when they gather as a group, Obaga talk is saying in the room. Okay,
Okay, I come to you. You just said something very important, sir.
Yeah.
You said when it comes to our tradition, because our tradition is the palace is our tradition.
Exactly.
They have nothing to do. Then it is not right for us to say things that has all the year I am in a way go to away here or is it not ideal for us to tell them that things that have to do with our tradition and value that they respect, that they are now using to showcase, they should pull back from it? E.g., for example, let me put it clear, because when these elders, we must be able to have an umbrella to cover them, to gather them and bring them, which the only umbrella that gathered the whole of us in Europe and America and Canada is the Edo community. That is the umbrella, all of us. And if these people, that is where we find the bulk of these elders. That is where we find the bulk of those who are silent. And if they are silent, don't you think I am the one saying it? I'm not saying people are saying it. I am asking a question, sir, as a prince, and at the same time also a patriotic Edo person, as also a son of Enogie. These people, this union, this community people should stop parading themselves with symbols that have actually to do with our palace. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, the truth of the matter is that where Arugbe Gasiriyewe, Emi Owa no doy. Arugbe na diriyewe, okay, but Emi Owa or no get Rigola Diana ya de winning. What we have today is our people have inculcate into themselves, right? That self-defeat in a negative way, whereby the best they can do is to say Obaga Tokbe is that is the best thereof now. Okay, but the value of protecting what make us who we are, some of them have sold their conscience to the environment of democracy. That some of them being stupid and idiotic, some of them will not say, what is the value of the palace? They in the palace only mine. But they forgot just the symbol alone. Or where you can see the two skin now. Emoji when boriri. When una even when it's even alive. Emoji when boriri. Where you ladia. Ikpakpa any. But he's dead though, but you still shiver. Why? Because of the name associated with the skin. Okay, that is what the Edo people, some of them have lost that value. The best thereof is Obaga Tokbe is when it comes to going outside that, standing to defend the culture and the core value of the culture, they will not say Boba Yume. But you forgot that just the name alone, Obiedo, is an umbrella, is a name that cannot be washed. Even today, the core value of the Benin city or Edo state or Benin kingdom is the Oba of Benin and the throne and the artifact that goes with it. Now, where Oba Edo Oba, they are inseparated. Aremire awukina mamoe. Where are we okoma? Okogba wa oji. O mao e mao ori makogbo. So we all will where the bad, the good, and the ugly. We all should live together. That's where my SAT one of my view that bokpa.
You are very correct, sir. So, sir, I will just put something to you. And today we are responding to Obaseki is the main topic. Did the Edo people call for it?
Call for what?
I said today we are responding to comment from Obaseki. Did we call for a situation like this?
No, we didn't call for it. No.
The reason, hold on, sir. Thank you, sir. The reason why I asked, you know, as I'm talking to you, I read comment also because the people, some people, I always have the belief that a lot of commenters are true. There are some that the diehard who are just the betrayers. There are some the ill-informed, so they ask questions. So I hardly read your comment and pick annoyance at first because it might be one of the two. So I don't like to make mistake. So the reason why I asked you that question because I'm not being comment here where we should talk about infrastructure. Obaseki is the one that choose the topic. Try to understand me, except you are one of those people who like to shift the goalposts at every given time to fit your narrative. He is the one that choose this. First, it was a mower from a mower. Oh, my father did not betray. Oh, so we will respond. He's the one that choose the topic. Exactly. So let me continue, sir. So the Mr. Man, that way they comment. So I've answered you. So instead of you wait for when the time comes for the infrastructure, kindly call Olakoko. Me, all of us here want to make Edo State better. The Edo State should progress. We will not shy away. Gone as those days, we will support one politician who does not have anything to offer. And still gone as those days, we will support any politician that will use mouth to buy fish for our soup, like Barack Obama, which Obaseki just did. There are two things. That is why democracy supports the popularity. But that does not mean the popularity is right.
Mm-hmm.
Democracy supports every opinion. That does not mean every opinion is right. And democracy also move people to sway people towards a good, sweet talker like Obaseki. That does not mean the majority that vote for that wrong candidate is right. This is one thing with democracy. So not all the time when we say democracy, democracy does not mean democracy will produce the best person. So now how the person will take convince people, a devil can convince people, a 419 can convince. Now how we take convince and the people take sway. But what is on ground, it is what we use at the end to judge the person after your administration. That is why today we talk about Abusali. That is why today we talk about Ogbemodia. And as we are still talking about Oshomole, say still try small. As we are still talking and say, Igbini do not do anything. Lamoka Daona, he chop me, chop the barrel, chop everything. As we still talk about Obaseki now. So this is the way it is. So people should not feel that, oh, it is witch hunt. It is not witch hunt. I, for one, will say, he's not the most corrupt president, most corrupt governor. No, when it comes to, in terms of who steal money pass. But his own is different. Is Yaya Bello not in Nigeria? If the people say he's corrupt, say he steal money until they carry and go court, let us play it where alleged that he stole, like every other one. But the court never judge him. But the other people, they are still in Nigeria. But his own, why? Because he was fighting his own identity, which only a tyrant does such thing. This is the problem here. When you attack the symbol of a tribe, you are attacking the whole. And when you look at that symbol from the Western mentality, having a black body with a Igbo brain, they can carry a Igbo glass put, you will see something different. But when you use your African brain with your African spectacle, you will see there, and we know that this is culture, this is tradition, has nothing to do with, not even your religion, not to talk of even your democracy. Its enrollment into our democracy is one of the things that call it doom. He is not the worst, and he will not still be the worst. The other chief till Nigeria talk say we want to change it and be like Burkina Faso. So let me move ahead, sir, to let us go back to what we are saying. I just decided to jab this in because of comment people are writing here. So we are not just doing it for which one.
Just one thing.
Yes.
Ask Abatobaze to put hand in his pocket. The purse in his pocket. Who said it on it? As our Viate Godwin, no bege, no few boy ekpo, you gonna roy ekpo, do woman roy, unwe Queen Elizabeth, unwe Queen Charles. Now, do you know that when the British wanted to join the EU, Schengen nation, they only joined by trade, but they didn't join in monetary form. So, by trade, the EU wanted to trick the British to say, okay, you join the EU by Schengen, border, free border. Now, let us also change the money. The Queen said, change what? They made the agreement with the Prime Minister. When the Prime Minister went to the Queen, then the Queen was still alive. The Queen said, what? The EU said we should have one currency. Okay, if we're going to have one currency, which currency are we going to use? Or where the EU currency? Check the money very well. Whose emblem is there? Or where the Queen emblem? I will be alive. You will change my money to somebody else's money over my dead body. That's why today we still have the currency King Charles and Queen Elizabeth are the currency of Great Britain. Now, by saying that, have you ever heard the British said they should remove the head of the Queen or remove the head of Queen Charles? No. Some people might be saying it, but have they thought about it? Why the heads are there? Because they own the country before democracy came to join them. That's why King Charles is the head of the parliament, of the House of Commons and the House of, because in Britain we have two parliaments, House of Commons and House of Lords. Both houses of parliament, King Charles is the head of the government. King Charles is the head of the traditional government and the democracy. He married both of them together. Okay? When it comes to tradition, King Charles is the head. When it comes to democracy, King Charles is the head. In Benin, when it comes to tradition, the Oba of Benin is the head. When it comes to democracy, the governor is the chief security, not the head, chief security. Now, has the question they should ask Oba Seki, does the Oba of Benin stop him for developing Edo State? No. If he said yes, then the allocation you are receiving every month from the federal government, does the Oba of Benin stop you for using that money for the people of Edo State? No. The security vote they give you to secure the Edo State life and property, does the Oba of Benin take the money from you? No. So if the Oba of Benin does not stop you from doing all this, what is your problem with the Oba of Benin?
So I have another question for you, sir. According to Oba Seki, that and comment also that he did not betray our Oba, and he did not. Okay, during the time of we had Lucky Igbenedion, the ex-governor. Then later it was Osumbo, short time, maybe 1 to 2 years. Then Oshomole, then before Obaseki. Then we have been having Igbo Association in Nigeria, in Benin. There's never a time they tried in Lucky time, in Oshomole time, in Osumbo time, to try to make themselves easy. The same, fast forward again. The same goes with the Fulani. There's never a time the Fulani try to crown themselves the Sultan of Fulani Sultan Emir in Edo State. In Lucky time, in Osumbo time, and in Oshomola time. These two tribes try to make a king out of their people who are settlers, who are visitors. Even if we know Nigeria Constitution said yes, free movement for all, but you have your state of origin. And you cannot make yourself a king in a state where you are a guest. So, is this not an act of betrayal? Because the government of Edo State did not stop the Fulani when they wanted to crown themselves. It was private people through shared power and protest. And the same goes with the Igbo, which recently the court of High Court in Benin struck it out under Okpeboro. The case was in the court. Obaseki did not even intervene, did not even use his executive power to say, this thing is not possible. What he failed to do as the chief executive officer, heading the judge, he can fire them and appoint them and say, no, this thing does not make sense. He kept quiet. Is this not an act of betrayal, sir? Go ahead and apply.
What happened there is, you see, they say Obaseki is a technocrat, but I see him as a crafty man. He was testing. You see, you know what? When they said that when there's a bucket of water, okay, on the ground, You don't just dip your hand into it. You have to test the body of the bucket to see whether it's cold or hot before you can dip your hand inside. Oba Seki have craftily prepared himself. He's going somewhere, but he needs a reason to get there. When the issue of Fulani first came up, it is our brother Imaswe Zodowa who went to the Enogie of Enyai, Idurase, to tell him, if they use your hotel for the installation of the Fulani Saraki, we will burn down this hotel. That's what Imaswe Zodowa went with his group to warn the Enogie of Enyai that if it happened, they will burn down that hotel. The Enogie of Enyai said he was not aware that they were going to do such a thing. He now called the manager, what is going on? He told the manager to stop it. It was then Godwin now make an announcement that such a thing is not going to happen because the people have already intervened. The Igbo 1-0, Godwin also knew. He was looking, you see, listen, can I tell you so? Where Agagbenye Amanafia Oboka Gabere Riri Yamwe, Unda Onwe Yerevarin. Obaseki Godwin problem started with the artifact. His first 4 years was peaceful. It was after he went to Sweden and Germany to know, or Netherlands, to know that the artifacts are not just coming as bronze, but they are coming with money. That's where he went banana. That's where he went ballistics. Okay? So, he was not interested in the artifact. He was just interested in the money. And the money, he got it. He got the money. Okay? But the issue we are talking about is that Godwin has never, ever, ever had the interest of the palace in his mind. Obiedo, if you are not Obiedo, how will you have the interest of the Edo people? A slave boy who came to the palace fell in love with a prince. Out of sheer benevolence, the prince made him a chief. So he has never, ever had the interest of the Benin. You see, just as you have said, Lokini Benedio was there. He never fought the palace. Osumba was there for a few times. Adamoshomole was there. Don't forget, Oyegumedia was also there. Okay? You can see, now, Oyegumedia was there. Even when Oyegumedia and Godwin went to the palace, our father told him, Godwin, why not you behave like Oyegumedia, not Tota Yevanana? That Oyegumedia was once a governor, sitting down in the same seat you are sitting on now. Here it is, be honored by everyone. Why not you also do well, that when your 8 years is over, that you can still be honored? When we not here, or when you dieni fiae, or manaho, Obama gbe, evori gbe. That is what happened to Godwin.
Sir, if according, I know his fans, his supporters will deny that, but his people said photographs speak
A
the
picture
truth.
paints 1,000 words.
So if you look at his reaction there, he was annoyed and he never looked at Awaba. He was turning his face somewhere else.
Yes,
Can you
exactly.
respond to that, sir? Go
Yeah,
ahead.
because, okay, actually, to make the whole thing more glamorous, you know, Onagwemasi Yiwe, okay? That's why his lips expression was hidden inside the mask. But nevertheless, the eye contact shows that he was, but no, wait a minute here. Our father he doesn't have the time to dribble around words. He tell you as he sees it. Even Our Abba does not dream words. All time enoje. Ogabi aruwa kariye. Veno yaro oriyo ya kamawe. Iye makede bo ameka. Umaonia. He said it. It's up to you to take his words or to go, Mama. It doesn't make any difference. Maonia. Oh, come away. Hey, Godwin, you are not gonna. Hey, Paka, man. Sorry for calling me. Obaga talk me. He said. Obaga talk me. He said. Umoguga talk me. He said. Umoguna, man. You only have 8 years. After your 8 years, you are not going to be there forever. Do well so you can be honored like every other governor that have come and go. But yet, Mina can't back your hero. Oma emene pata, emene eri mata, Oma la hero. When you talking, away all Rick me and Negele Ajo wa boy degbe eri ho. Oga Rick me and Negele Ajo wa boy degbe eri ho. Only if not one, but only if not one go down. Sorry, I go down there. It got doing no moja. Only if not one. Or ikpela negele ajokwano or abo degbe eri. So all this we are talking about today, Iyose mi no gbado. Iyose mi no gbado. If he has done his part as a governor ruling Edo State for 8 years without interfering without encroaching into the traditional affair, ni matabene na magayata.
Baba, Baba, I would still like you to touch because it is a taboo.
It will be good for you to
apologize
because you are not going to be there. It will be good beyond.
It is a taboo for our Oba to apologize to anybody publicly. The only time in Benin history and in recorded history that such thing happened was when the British forced Eweka II to apologize to Iyase, which happens to be, which is Agu, because our Oba started the ceremony because he did not wait for Agu to be present. He started it earlier, and of which, according to custom, the Benin king is the chief priest, the bishop, the spiritual father, the sultan, anyhow you want to call it. So, how come, if this is not an act of betrayal in the part of Obaseki, because of the influence of the power that is coming from the British? So, sir, I would like you to touch on it, because a lot of people did not know what happened, what really happened, what took place. Because we are bringing it, it's a very, 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 it's going to be off a basket. We are going to be taking it piece by piece. According to, we spoke earlier that this thing is going to last 6 months, at least once or twice maybe, because we are not going to come out with propaganda. We are going to come out with the truth, so that the Jewish people have one thing. They say in German, he said, "Nie wieder," never again, with such things like Hitler wiping them out, repeat itself. So the reason why we are doing it, never again will Edo people be fooled, because our father said, when the European delegates, the European ambassador and the German ambassador, according to our father, I'm quoting, he said, 1897 was about to repeat itself. This was a betrayal act. And ever since then, I want to draw people's attention. A lot of Nigerian bloggers, we are saying, oh, we put ourselves in the spotlight. The very next day, when our God-given king addressed the issue, the European newspaper media house were so forth, immediately they went silent. The CNN, BBC, they went silent. Intentionally, purposely, because that was open, direct accusation, pointing their intention or their mistake. Because first of all, our father quoted the way as a diplomat what the European delegate is supposed to do. Then secondly, he said this was a repeat or an attempt, something looking like 1897 trying to repeat himself. So, sir, I would like you to bridge all these things together so that our people should understand that what Agu did, testifying against Obavorame in the Imperial Court, testifying, bringing the British people to the hideout of where they kept Obavorame in Ezomo House, leading the British army to Epauso, and at the same time also leading them to the hideout of Ologboshere. So there is a lot. And secondly, also, Obaseki, we know they are the second largest landowners in Edo State. And we know that majority of the land being inherited by them, some of the land have colonial C of O, certificate of ownership. So, sir, I would like you to touch on this aspect of invaders, colonial master, issuing certificate C of O to Idiji. And the only people that this certificate of O was issued to is the Obaseki family. So, sir, touch on it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for all these questions. Number one, the reason why Evava make mention of 1897 was almost taking place. Edo Yakpita, a wofen or wowa, or coming or roegemi rowa. How did all those diplomats, how do they find themselves in Benin? They were invited by Obaseki. People will say, no, they came to open the museum. They came to open museum. A museum near the open. Is it not in a sovereign country? The museum is in a sovereign country. And that sovereign country has a leader. Okay? It has a president, it has a governor of the state. Now, beside that, you are talking about arts and culture, which has to do with the Benin people, which means the monarch. Okay? So, if you get this right, ona wela agwogwo ga se ba na tie mo vie o ona wo ma etie wo vie but e we mi o vie o. You get it now? But ogi se ba ote se ba me na gbian ame wa gbian ya na do ki pe na tan yiri ogo mo da na mo gora ya mu yi go ai no nya gwa na we wa we mi o vie na no tuk mo yi go ma bege wa otie o vie. But a mani aja me or tear of Yerunda of your patukun yigogo by me agbe. Was Obaseki or a Godwin or Sherman or Bado? A Godwin in your planet, Oyenocha, Philip Yenocha was the right hand man of Godwin, the ex-governor. Okay? Philip Yenocha was whatever Philip Yenocha did or done was being directed by Godwin. Okay, so Oyenocho and Godwin have already made a plan how they were going to go about it. Okay, so bringing those diplomats without, okay, fine. At the end of the day, those diplomats, do they visit the governor house? They did. Do they visit the Oba of Benin? They did. Was that not the first thing they would have done when they arrived in Benin? The first thing they would have done when they arrived in Benin is to visit the governor house. The governor will take them to the Oba Palace. No, they took them straight to the museum. When the Benin said no, they now realize, okay, we made a mistake. When we look here, it's too late to cry when the head is off. They've already made a blunder. Obaseki knew what he was doing, what he was looking for. Let's be Obaseki or Godwin is a crafty bastard. Why? Because if those guys were angry and there was a stupid one among them, you see, and go out of his way, they will say, oh, 1897, the Oba raised talks against the visiting British. Then in 2025, the Oba of Benin raised talks to fight diplomat from abroad. That was his target. But Enika Omakwe, Ujogo Saloboa. So for that reason, Obaseki is looking for, no, Godwin is looking for every way and means to bring down the palace. Listen, this is not the beginning. No, sorry, this is not the end. This is just the beginning. Godwin will not give up in his quest to sabotage the palace. No, he will not give up until he died. Until he died. Thank God that the governor said, whenever Godwin step his feet into Edo State, or Edo State, not Nigeria, no, Edo State, he will be arrested, and that is true. Why Godwin Okpebolo, sorry, why Okpebolo, Mondo Okpebolo is the governor, the chief security. Whenever Godwin step his feet into Benin, he will be arrested. That is true. And Godwin told his family, during the meet and greet in London, Godwin told his family he will be going to Edo. All his family, he want all his family to go with him. Yeah, on the way, ure, maybe no rubure, or diebo was no. Abi?
Yes, Rihanna.
Ure, Kevin or rubure. Okay, diebo was no. Where ya don't have a family where ya lelegbere. Yeah, I must as an oregbe gwazoe for ne.
Gagawa.
Eri I say. Where I got there, una vie family where a family ago, una vie ya lelegbere. And as an oregbe gwazoe for the television.
Where's
So, okay. The seal of Odu,
yes,
the
yes,
seal of
right.
Odu. Yeah. Why was it like that? That Ago Chief Ago, Ago not here, Chief, not here, Chief Obaseki. Why did he have so much property, so much land of the COO from the British administrator? Why? Because he was in charge. The British are foreigners. He is the prime minister, the envoy of the British of the Benin, the ESA of Benin, the position of a prime minister. Now there is no king. Within that 17 years, there is no king. Okay, but he was now deputizing for the king between him and the British. So whatever he chooses to do, he has a free hand. Okay, the only thing Nori stopping him was that Chief Pharaoh stopped him from being the king of Benin. He has everything. Even when Ovurame was still the Oba of Benin, he was the financial market and enemy.
Minister of Trade.
The Minister of Trade. He amassed a lot of wealth for himself. Oba Ovurame knew it. And we can a lot of Ebumei. That's why Oba Ovurame never bothered to change him. Okay? We hear a lot of Ebumei.
And the last time, so that we'll start taking a question call. If outside the artifact, because artifact is still there, 1,500 gallons of oil, oil, because oil was what we were using that time, palm oil. Ovurame, which the Ovurame wanted to use also to negotiate with the British people, say, okay, you people came for this thing, have it and leave us. The British people said, no, you don't need to tell us, we have it already. Who gave the British people the location and where Oba Oborame's studies treasure? Who gave them?
Yeah, based on what you just said now, you see, where Benekataba, Bonokwa Gamuya Boto, Negeya if you buy.
Yes.
Ago is already at the period where Oba Oborame, or when Edo does not have the Oba, who was the next in line? He has said that he is now in charge. So whatever what we look here, or where Ologbena Rowa, or what white can go for Abi?
Yes.
Dologbe Rowa, or Wagi can go for since Erima Magiga Rowa, he was now in charge of everything. For him to get, you see, just as I said back his eyes was already on the throne. So he will give everything to get it. He has already given out everything to get it. But Chief Ago, no, sorry, Chief Ero, stop him. He has already given everything to get the throne. Even there was one year, say, in a Delta area. No Rigona. When the first Oba
Eweka.
Weka, when he challenged Ago, who is not the ESA, when Oba Weka challenged him, they took the matter to the British courts, to the British administrator. Then there was another ESA from the Delta, from the Robo area, or from his Shekiri.
Yes.
Honor Rigone, he bribed that man. Please, if you stand by me to become the Oba of Benin, whatever you want, I will give it to you. The man took the money, and when they stood before the British administrator, after all said and done, the man has said, Ovioba, Orioba, Obiomina, Obioba, Orioba, Obiogi, Oriogi, Obiomina, Oriomina. You are not a blue blood. There is no way you can become the Oba of Benin. That is where that case died. Then Oba, then Prince Eweka now become Anna Idosue as Oba Eweka. If not, that is Shekiri man have testified against Prince Eweka. There were no way that Prince Eweka would have become a king. That was the last stroke that broke the camel's back. That is Shekiri man, for the fact that he took the money, refused to join the then ESA Oba, the ESA Ago from taking that position. Ekerete wa ariofefo na erurite wake. Eruruni ete wani emiye, but ESA ni makwe no mie. Eruruni now become what we have today. So Godwin, Agola, and all, they did their best. But they failed in 1897 after 17 years. Fast forward 2025, of a failing. But in Haige, he's going back to Benin with all Agos family. La wo nenika also awe. No via gbewera diedo. No dio we koda, odio we koda, odio ge yuelele. O wa de wera koda, odio ge yuelele. O via gbewe de re London, kenora America, kuya ga diedo. Then esena hona zo efone. Erio he say, eri ga ka say.
Epao, quick one. As of 3 days ago, the African countries, Malawi, Mozambique, including Botswana and Lesotho inside South Africa, these 4 countries already are planning already to sue for colonial damages, most especially in Botswana, because the first genocide the first place where Hitler experimented what he did to the Jews was done in Botswana to the heroes people. Those people who are familiar with history, check it out. So these people are trying now to sue them. Don't you think it's time for us? Because the Europeans, the British called the invasion expedition. It was a massacre. It was a genocide. They plundered, they looted, raped, and killed unalive thousands of people, including women and babies. And these things fall under the category of a war crime. So if we are waiting for them to alleviate it from the little expedition tag they used to describe that barbaric act, it will never happen. So don't you think it's time for us, since now our artifact is being our artifact is pronounced in the four corners of the world, and at the same time so goes our history. The only thing that is missing, we have not been able to push for a repatriation of our artifact, which we are seeing now in kind, and in also money to pay for the damages. Because if the European Parliament, the UN, is forcing the Turkish people to pay for the Armenian genocide, force the German to pay for Jewish, forcing the Japanese also to pay for their barbaric acts in China, in Taiwan, and so on. So, and the same British people are co-signer in all these institutions that is forcing other people, other nations to pay for their crime. Don't you think it's time for us to also drag the British, because it was an unjust war? We never provoked them. They provoke us, and they came back to loot, burn down the city, rape our mothers. So don't you think it's time for our educated people, intellectuals, our forefather who happens to be in strategic position to start to speak out and say, to call it by name? It was not an expedition, it was a genocide against our people. Thank you, sir.
Okay, this is really where I really have the strength to I have a lot of strength to emphasize this one.
Thank you, sir.
Aware ozi gwemamioko ogwaleru. Okay, now the Johnny Yakai. The issue first we have to tackle is the Benin Kingdom. After Benin Kingdom was overthrown in 1897, the Niger Company was created. The Niger Company were sold to the British King for about 670 pounds. Now, the British King now turned that Royal Niger Company, amalgamated it in 1914, put the Igbos and the Yorubas and the Hausa as a custodian of that Niger Royal Company, amalgamated in 1914 and become a country in 1960. So Nigeria was created by the British for the sole purpose of raw materials. Okay, here we are. Nigeria was built on top of Benin Kingdom. Okay, whatever we do now, we will not get the strength and the power for we to sue the British King, because we are under Nigeria. Be very careful now, get it right. The first thing we have to fight for is the sovereignty of the land. We've got the king, thank God, after 17 years. We have a king now. Oba Ratokbe is said. Then the next thing we have to fight for now, the artifact are coming home. There is to fight for the sovereignty of the land. Because we have a king, but we don't have a sovereignty over the land. Okay? Nigeria government still speak for the entire region. The only way we can now take that matter up when we become a sovereign country with the Oba of Benin as the head of the country. Then he will now say, based on what happened to my people and my country, I demand for so and so thing. Now, as far as I'm concerned, about 3 years ago, we have already formed a document that we sent to the United Nations under the auspice of UKGB, United Kingdom of Great Benin Empire. I am a co-signature to that document. That document is with UN right now. The document is in the Palace of the Oba of Benin, and one of the document is with me, okay, as a signature to that document. Now, what are we saying? We need a sovereignty. All we need is for the Edos, no more Donoma. Let us come together and demand for the sovereignty of our land to remove Nigeria. Nigeria can still exist. Now we are using two formula, like the Israel fought for their right. They submitted their document to the UN, and the UN voted Israel become Israel again after how many years? In 1945. Now, East Timor separated from China. The United Nations did it. Then in Rome, we have the Vatican City and we have the Roman City, Italian City. Now, two cities living together, like Monaco and Spain. So what we are saying today is that Nigeria and Benin Kingdom can coincide. They can coexist. So Benin Kingdom should be given to the Oba of Benin, while Nigeria continue as Nigeria. So the Nigeria government will have nothing to do with Benin Kingdom. So the Oba of Benin will not be in charge of the Benin. All we needed is the Oba of Benin is in charge of Benin Kingdom. Then we will now have a parliamentarian, just like the British. Then we will now have a representative in Nigeria if the Benin Kingdom so wish, as an ambassador. So Benin Kingdom can be separated from Nigeria without a bloodshed. All we need is the majority. Okay, we need the majority of the Benis, of the Edo, to say, yes, it's time for the sovereignty of the land. Without the sovereignty of the land, if you want to take the British to court, you are asking the Nigerian government to take the British to court, and that will never happen. Okay, but the only way, the only way we can take the British to court is when we become a sovereign nation, as the Oba of Benin, as the head of Benin Kingdom, sovereignty over the land. Okay, today the Nigerian government, with the system that goes with it, everything is under Nigeria. Everything is under the Nigeria government. Now, if we carve those states out of Nigeria, Nigeria can still exist. Okay, just like the Rome and the Vatican City, they coexist. Look, there's East Timor and China, and Israel and Warsaw and Monaco. So these are the methods. I'm going to use this media to appeal to all well-meaning Edolites, wherever you are. We already have a document with the United Nations. All we need is that, I think we need about how many signatures? Was it 5,000 signatures?
5,000 we need that.
Yeah, 5,000 signatures to be submitted to the UN to say, we the people, we are tired. We were a country before 1897. We have an ambassador in Portugal. We traded with a lot of countries before the British expedition in 1897. We were a sovereign country. Excuse me. We were a sovereign country. So if we got our sovereignty back over the land, then we can now choose whether to sue or whatever way, to sue or not to sue, or to make an amendment. Okay, the days of war is over. We are not talking about we are not talking about robbing mind together. Okay, so for we to rob mind with the British, for that to happen, it will not happen under Nigeria, because the Nigerian government wouldn't want to do that. But when we have a sovereignty over our land through the through the United Nations, then Benin Kingdom sovereignty can be handed over to the Oba Benin as it were prior before 1897. All we need now is that if I could buy it, if I could do it, I alone will do it. I will go to the UN and say, we need Benin Kingdom back to be under the sovereignty of the Oba Benin. I will pay for it. But the funny is that it doesn't require money. All it requires is 5,000 signatory of the Edos. Sign the signature for 5,000. We take it to the United Nations and say, the Benin were a sovereignty prior before 1897. Now, we want to go back to our monarchy system. When the UN will look into that 5,000 signature, then that will trigger off the debate for a Benin Kingdom to be separated from Nigeria. That is the only solution.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. And before we start now, because no more question for you, sir. Question you except from my side, but quick one for those also just to reply that our former governor that said Edo people are not educated. Those people, the first letter written by any king in West Africa, still in Tafawa Balewa, museum in Lagos, is the letter of Oba Seki, written in Portuguese. As at then, Edo people were already going to school. And the first educated professor, so-called from this Nigeria, is still an Edo man. So there are a lot of things that people who have come out from that region have been great, both male and female. So for the former governor to say, oh, we are not educated, I know your family is educated, but that was a privilege that you people gained through the betrayal of Ago, that a lot of you got scholarship to go to abroad, England, to study. So that is how it comes. So let us set the record straight. So, Olakoko, this is the time for us to pick questions from people. Please, for time, now making a get away so that every other team, who time, when power in a remove, a boy have a nepa who time, so that people should know. So now let's pick course. That was a nice one, Pa Joseph. Where's it, Domosa?
Well, what says, thank you for inviting me. Well, yeah, what say?
You said it's not going to be 6 months, it's going to be a year. I love that, sir. You know, I don't quick. I don't run away when it comes to issue concerning, when I see you as an old man running, so you give me stress, sir. So I said 6 months, you said 1 year. I said 2 years. So we are going to hit it. We are going to be great time for that.
I'm not wishing every year. So while he's running his mouth in abroad,
yes,
you contested the election in Edo State, but you are not running your mouth in abroad. Try to galvanize your like-minded idiots against our revered monarch. If you were going around doing your meet and greet without insulting the palace, I don't have a problem with that. No.
Nobody will talk. Nobody's going to talk.
You can go wherever you want. 1 year, no, 1 year ago, we're going to do Movedo. You can do whatever you want to do.
If you like insult Tinubu and Okpewuru, you don't concern us.
It doesn't concern me. But as far as the palace is concerned, then you are stepping on the head of a viper. And it will sting you.
Exactly. So, Lakoko, let's pick the corner. They not call you.
Olakoko, mute yourself.
That is our amiable Okakuo. Okakuo. Obokia, job well done. Make I thank you again. And so, my people, I know say all of you are very happy to see our EPA for a job well done. And all of you are very happy. So I believe say this particular broadcast now, I believe say we really enjoy that because I never see a lot of calls since when they story. We or kite now go call now. Maybe we feel articulate one call. But other brokers, we need to go on calling. We can appreciate the part. Thank you. Work more. If I work with you when you Ola Coco, I know say me I dey talk, I dey ask. Na Christmas period we dey so. Na just Christmas we dey. If I know the Seki Oghioba when he receive slap, when be say that slap enter well. He give am slap today, the next day he don't come out the raise fund. People they give her pants.
Go fund me.
Grow from me, whatever need they call am. Seki Oghioba don't give her pants. Seki Oghioba wife don't give her another pants. If your account don't full. You understand? And they say they donate for them. I must say, Ogima na hina. On a mahine ya where yes. The omoto ne the bana no ve value win na be because otamu wawe the last fight ega ni for when me bege na we gbina na yesu only last fight you roll down egi no waga gwalo waga atalo egi wo o explain ma one enia nene get ya ma ihe o abene ja imati wari for 40 crate of egi for babana aye reserve beso so dia na le gbele yon we wo be London ya gbele yon you understand the nania so mo na share the video
Dega police go ya hweari owa.
oh yeah we are no wa ni ya kere me we na take gbele yon so my people this one now for if you wait the watch if you want to call the EPA you really do well for your this thing you partake when you take buy wine even Dangote or you go le ni bag you understand so why if we man we need to show love one of the way EPA Nigeria in Otomeria imunwe mate pana we dey expect people say we are expecting where a part-time man we agbina nedo ima wa play party man but a private war we already receive a call from the important location and
let me say this on the media. A boy not female me although I apologize. He called me, he has called me twice now. Where EPA, he's very sorry that I'm at his father's age. That he's very sorry. And now he explained himself to me, and I've also forgiven him. My boy,
EPA, are you begging for his behalf? Because you have to mean a lot of Mamunya is that boy.
He making me and Waja boy, Waja boy.
I didn't appreciate your turn.
So while I do, while your boy, we
because I made the day I say I'm moo. I made the day.
Yeah, my matter are
and Nala Wobo, Nadia Eba Mokoko, away Oponaya Bovia Mabaya Shesike.
For the next other broadcast, I received 1 or 2 calls. They may accept you.
Yes, EPA, working what time? I call if you were dear Quayo.
I make on his behalf.
Let's take a course. Hello. Hello. You don't get to when Maria can't hear. Trust you.
Call you one.
Okay. What's it?
What going on? What happened?
Supported. Where's the mommy? Correct. So Wakiata. Where's it? All right, we take the next caller. So you wait the watch, not bad there for comment section there. Get. Make we quick do am chap. Before we hold on, we call you now. What o no me zoe get the Nigeria account, you know. Do away ni make what here me pay
Go from me.
Roll from me. The coordinator say get here. Hello, mommy yo. When are the account here? We did.
So Nepal affected the boy now. This are the boy anyway local you can't pop back security. You make it convince there before you take convince there.
Okay.
So at least my boy need your way okay accept it now.
Wow.
They say ignorance to fire the no, is he coming to join us or is he there? So now this guy forgive the effort.
All right, okay, Epa, I debate here where we can 1 year now. Or where you debate you where can who do explain him the house. So that way, or you want to beg for forgiveness. Okagbe one, Okakwo. Okakwo. Okakwo.
Okagbe to.
Waya do ema me here case one. Ya raise for the new one.
West
Okakwo no gbe ne woro. No gbe ne woro, o be ne woro.
Okagbe West e be dead yo. No mana get. No mana give me you Bobby one.
Hey, Modoni Maka, Maka, I didn't me, Yamana Meake Atia, Kikabaka, Emma Meake Atia before. Near this way,
Go ahead.
Okay, but go ahead. Oh yeah, sleep.
Find out where yes, they take questions to your talk. After they take questions to your talk. Not having the new boss, I'm not putting it here. Understand? So, and not that, and not that guy, and that, every day, the man, you are having your bucket now. A day for first year or a day someday. And it's a thing, yeah, where you get to have like a man, nice to be now, but, and then not some,
S20, edit S20, Laos is way my like edit S20, what die ye? Continue in my water, flower.
Ọmọ kagbe.
Àwọn onyanya mago we masi no riagbo yakin.
So where I finish anyway, where I finish anyway, could you tell me my time in my no mama on my own? Where Guayona? Yeah, no more.
That protest was very, very successful. Now, do you know where Obaseki came around 5 o'clock? On my leg, for one part, if I have
Ọmọ gẹ́lá díẹ̀.
Awa ya le. Ma wa no cha.
Yàrá dẹ̀ nu mú kọlọ̀ mi.
Yeah, wa video e bure.
Gàràǹdè.
Àwọn fi kára kọ ẹ̀.
Ọ̀ka ẹgbẹ́. Ẹni ya.
My neck, the car follow of the territorial army of the British. The car is not that. Myself and Prince Oghioba. I'm not going to share Bolima, a part of the area. Then meanwhile, Kuso Osaji, Ona Gioma, Noni do me like Kuso, Noni do I know Kuso, only now record. Kuso Osaji, Emanasi Ocho Bolita. Ona the Asia Bolima by here value. I want to mess about, I want to talk about, sorry, I want to mess about with them. Why, Erika?
Ma wa no cha. Yo sa.
Network, yo.
Awa ya le. Ona ya le yi wi.
Wait a minute, here, police. Wa mana we gari e de ma wa veru e. Police na do muja yimada o.
Hello, mommy. We do.
Hello.
Hello, go ahead.
I don't know anything about UK, no make it I am a visa. Or what for me, a woman, a sugar. Or woman, I have we over the America where Yanjo near Nota, or if I back in America. And I'm a million Yaka battery. We have pilot case and another show even no young 1 year in Nigeria. We don't got 13 years. And I'm a million show you.
Okay, ma download the video.
Another attack your marriage, your Mawana, imagine Giena, my very woman. Yeah, my worry go never revelation.
Ah, wow. Well, where you are Toby. Okay, yeah, all right. Give my debit color card, but not tell me not for so that Nepal we call it a day. Okakwo. Domosa. My wife will talk. Go ahead. My menuta go.
My wife home man.
Yes. And then we'll be about a week now, next week. Okay.
The protest was very, very successful in that. Roughly 40 people because it's less to do for handling the Prisokeo, breaking active, over affecting her. Marijuana, Niga River, about 70% media group. If you want music, here must be 40. It's always in a Prisokeo. A whole entire female like Yania Doma, Ate Gardiner, Upper Sekilawa, or Mighty Lawa. Mahiae, Mawaya, it was a huge success process. He told the Mama Ropa, I was here, Mekwawa, certainly, Oba Sekia Lele, the Kenapi, Kuniladia, the Moti Kudomu, Mopere. Christopher was fully involved with the public address equipment no movement. Therefore, meanwhile, Menafa. No, we're not airport negotiation are clear. Even use for by then the process now. We tried our.
Why, yeah, of course.
It was for a good cause.
Why, yeah. Of course. Why, yeah, why, here the time, my mama beggar, my God, wash one. Why, yeah.
Franklin on now across the race. We could go now. When I get top of four, on our one, the public address equipment in your hand. So, if you guy, you want to like a one, but then I do okay, your phone is Camarona apologize to me, loud, yes, that me only apologize to Prince Oghioba. And when I do, you know, go net, no phone, no weapon.
Call him,
I'm when I did live video, do apostolic, my video, you have yes.
Follow most of them. Here one man. Then Ohama Moe, Julius. All that lad, Yana Moe, Keko pan of Betway will not stand up one. Well, me, I am not the appearance of the top in the appearance. All the name of the man, one I will work with. Here I see what for me. Everything I have been a tactic I have been understand. It's something you are rock for me to penetrate. Now, la way the holiday, the near massive acting. Already, I have money. The near man, I have money, and the near yard, the massive acting, where yet the neck goes away.
Okay, but when you make it,
because security said. On the whole, the process was very, very, very successful. Security, yeah, been no boom, can no make it up. I go no, it's not real lawyer. You go no, my penny I go for. At the end, I will map for it. The band of Patrick Kwan, or who ya Kwan, or how much more on our way here, donkey, aware, attacking, yana attack about the now when you're in. Then, today now, you have to play donkey to you by. Everybody enjoy a donkey. I want to take your money to take me award.
asking the racket for JP, man. So it's talking here and with a JP now. I went today, I won't probably not sponsor don't to buy and buy for life. Over the year, other fullness now of I don't know where the no where no now we meet and greet. He was gathering people to go against the palace. That's what he was doing. Oha Mwevani where I'm ready to go to Benin now. Mahania, Upper Second family will follow me. That's what he said. And a motivate the eye explaining your way. This side of me, this format me, and that a family of Paris, a married, a man is a market hockey, a priest of one, a priest of girl, a man of man or lad of no lad and do not that. Obviously, we are here. It's over here, we are to. Here, we are to. It's over, it's to live. Muhammad Alawa and Africa. Mia, a walk in my Ilawa, aware, did not tell why do, aware you in Alawa, a doing support, then join us on my journey on Africa. The thought where it's a new afternoon, so, on the whole, I would like to tell people thank them for what for their support, and I will want them in future. The President now, Oja, I have seen a woman.
I see you.
We are very left behind. And I would like to use this opportunity to tell them where the protest was a huge success, and upper second year where there is nothing. Here, here, cancelled any year. Naga have webo about upper second year. Nana me of Bema, Betao, a Gidano, of Migo, on us no. So, no.
Where's it?
The only China. The other one, I would really care about the life of Burame and Obaseki.
Okay, worry.
And for the time in Yane.
Okay, worry.
The time in Yane, a hard boy, Obaseki got me, the boy, a hard boy got no, according to as when another a hard boy got no, on not close to, because he was loyal to about Burame. I had to also work not to acquire no little man between the security and the upper of the Niana address here too. So whoever need the data for Pogo, Apple live and Nian live with the Niana motor Niana will send their away. So that is why one of the reasons of our brother Manasek Wale, some Manakwala Nian live, then they came up with diplomatic excuse that at my work work, don't come here. So, probably enough more focus than after.
Okay. Where's it? Where's it? Domosa.
Okay. It's okay, or you live by 20.
Domosa. Where's the Kakabo? Domosa.
Where's the Kakabo? Why here?
Domosa. Yeah, Domosa.
And I'm sure where a more water is.
Where's it?
Domosa.
Marejo where? Where's it? Domosa. Where's it? Kako one. Where's it? This will be the last caller, my people.
Hello, Domo.
Hey, Domosa.
Domo.
And I want to, you have to Domo, praise. Domo, sir. You are highly appreciated. And more your action will encourage many of us to speak out.
Yes, sir.
We cannot keep quiet.
That is
so one thing I want to say to the Benin people, we must come together. We don't have any reason to be divided at this time. Those who think that they want to destroy the kingdom are not 1% of the kingdom. We must come together. We must come together. I want to say thank you, Pardon Mosa.
Owese Baba, thank you very much. Bless you too. Bless you too. Owese o, Domosa, I'm about to call it a day now. Waya Wesi, I continue with the next broadcast. Thank you all, and bye-bye for now. Thank you. We appreciate every one of you. Thank you. Bye.
National